Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Dana of the Dead. Today I'm going to be reviewing the movie Skinamarink. I went to see it last night. I left early, and if you want to call it a movie, you can. So let's just get right into it. I went to a theater, and I did not know that this movie apparently blew up on TikTok, social media, what have you. The only available seats were literally dead front center, like in front of the screen in this tiny little packed theater. I was shocked that it was packed because it was a weeknight. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how does anyone even know about this movie? And this is one of those scenarios where not looking into a film beforehand can kind of bite you in the ass. And I learned that for sure last night. But I also think that coupled with the fact that it was leaked early and kind of became a sensation on TikTok and social media as the scariest movie of all time. So let me start with this. Before I went to the theater, I knew the budget was 15,000. I did know that, and I did know the basic premise of this film being that two kids are in a house. When they wake up, the dad is gone and the windows and doors disappear in the house. So I'm waiting for this movie to stop being so grainy, and it doesn't. I at first was thinking it was just the intro because I didn't know that this movie was an experimental film. And most of the shots of the film are of corners of walls or an outlet or a toilet. It's very dark, it's very grainy, it's muffled, there's subtitles at points. Now, I believe it was filmed on this camera here. I'm open-minded, trust me, and I understand wanting to make like an artsy film or apparently the director filmed this in his childhood home. I'm imagining besides this $6,000 camera that he bought for this, that renting out the home and paying the actors was the only other part of the budget. Because this is his idea for this movie was living out childhood nightmares. Now, when I went to look at reviews afterwards, now I will say I literally was on my phone. I got on my phone to look up Rotten Tomato score of this film because I was in shock. I was watching it and I was literally in shock that it was like no one was leaving the theater at the time. I was mostly under the impression that everyone was waiting for something to happen, but I was confused as to everyone's patience as to why they were staying and why no one was saying what the fuck. I happened to be the loudest one in there last night. I couldn't help but laugh at certain points. Like there's like 4 jump scares in the whole thing, and people actually fell for the jump scares because, mind you, if you're actually watching the film and not like looking at your phone to look at Rotten Tomato scores and reviews, that if you're actually into the film, it's pretty silent the whole time, but then randomly they'll just slam some loud ass noise and light in your face, and it's supposed to be unsettling. So when I looked up reviews, I see that they're very polarizing of the film. People either completely got terrified by this movie or were left like me saying, what the fuck did I just watch? So a lot of the people that liked the film, a lot of people said it was their fear of the dark when they were younger and childhood, like, I guess parents getting divorced, stuff like that. And I'm genuinely just thinking this movie didn't scare me, not only because I couldn't see anything and it hurt my eyes really bad, but because I went through actual trauma as a kid. So I'm thinking you have to be someone that had a pretty basic upbringing and you go into this film and like get hypnotized. And that's apparently what a lot of people felt was happening to them. And I don't play with that either. You're not going to hypnotize me. You're not going to brainwash me. I will not fall for that. Now, not that I know that's for a fact what happened. I am going to be a little conspiratorial here and say I genuinely think people were getting hypnotized by this movie because I left the theater early. I watched at least an hour of this film, unfortunately, and I was absolutely shocked at the reviews praising this film. I wasn't scared at all. Like, I don't know if it's because I have ADHD. I guess I'm not an intellectual. I'm not smart enough to expand my mind. Like, honestly, I was thinking I needed to eat mushrooms to be into this film. I was just so taken aback. The one of the scarier shots was like the mother's back while she's sitting on the bed. And I was just like, oh wow, a shot where I can kind of see something and something frightening might happen, but it was lackluster. Reading the reviews online while watching the film, a lot of people were saying the last 15 minutes, the last 10 minutes, whatever, is the only time something happens. And I just didn't have the patience to wait around till then. And I wanted to, considering I knew I was aiming to do this review for you guys, but I wanted to be as honest and forthcoming as I could, and I could not stay. I mean, the movie The Witch drags on too much for me. I do have ADHD, and my attention span, I do need some flair. I didn't have the patience to wait till the 15 minutes of the end, and I honestly figured I could just Google what happened at the end, and that would be enough. That would be telling enough because this movie just was not doing it for me. I mean, I think my biggest gripe with this film is that I genuinely wish I could just see. If I could have seen, but that was apparently the point, was to make your fear of the darkness and the unknown and the eyes of children, like the perspective of kids. And it just didn't work for me. It did not work for me. Like, I don't have a fear of TVs and I do have a fear of the dark, like a general fear of the dark, because, I think that's natural, but the movie didn't scare me whatsoever. I couldn't fucking see. And no one was saying this. And it was driving me up a wall. I'm like, hello, we all just paid money to see a movie that we can't actually see. I mean, just put yourself in on a highway in the dark with no cars around driving through a blizzard, and that is literally what this movie is with some cartoon sounds. And I would rather do that. I would rather do that. It would actually be scarier. Like, this is some type of elevated horror, pretentious bullshit, in my opinion. I'm honestly pissed off that this guy is gonna make money off of this hitting theaters just because, in my humble opinion, that it blew up on TikTok and social media. Like, I had no clue. And I went to see it because I'm a horror fanatic. Other people went to see it because they were told something that it's not. But for some people, it is that. And for me, that's concerning because this was a pile of shit, in my non humble opinion. It really irritated me. I just want to be able to see. And what's really funny about the vibe of this movie is that I used to work at this haunted house, and for 2 years, I was in this TV room. The TV room consisted of a bunch of static TVs all over the place, and then like really old timey music playing. So maybe I'm desensitized to this type of stimulation that's supposed to frighten you because I worked so often by myself in this room at this haunted house. But suffice it to say, I I felt like it was going to be a job for you guys to stay there to do this review. I wanted to leave so bad and I felt like I was being tortured, but not like a tortured like, oh, I feel uneasy, tortured like I'm annoyed. I almost fell asleep multiple times. I've only ever fallen asleep in the theater maybe one time. I don't fall asleep in public, especially in a crowded theater. Anyone that thinks this is scary, I genuinely want you to explain to me what was scary about it. I left confused, irritated, pissed off. I'm not gonna put too much care into it after I finish this review though, because I'm not spending more of my life wasting my breath on a waste of time. It's just all wasted energy for me personally. But I had to let you guys know how I felt because I honestly want to tell you not to waste your time. Do not spend your money on this film in theaters. I would wait for its Shudder release, and if you watch it on Shudder, I would watch it in a pitch black room, blaring. Make sure you're wearing your glasses or whatever you need to do to be able to see. Have that brightness turned up and watch it by yourself. If you just have a general fear of the dark as a kid and you were left home alone and this movie might work for you. But it certainly did not work for me. I will never watch it again. I might, when it comes on Shudder, watch the last 15 minutes. That is apparently so scary when everything turns upside down. Like, waste of time. A literal waste of time. Wish I could get a refund type vibe. But anyway, thank you for listening to me rant about this film. I really, really do want to hear people's feedback that saw this film. I'm sorry if I'm offending any of you, genuinely. If this movie worked for you, I'm glad. I wish it worked for me. Um, Sorry for calling you, but I don't know. It's just not for me. Like, anyway. Thank you guys so much for listening today. I really appreciate it. If you would like, comment, subscribe, anything, share it. It would mean a lot to me. I just want to, keep doing these videos for you guys. And I really appreciate you sticking around if you did. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and a great weekend. Thanks.